It was just a simple travel form. That's all it was supposed to be. He had done it a dozen times before, filling out online booking information, confirming details for a hotel check-in or a guided tour. But this time, in a sleepy haze after a long overnight bus ride, he typed a few things too fast. Name? Correct. Passport number? Fine. Nationality? Without thinking, he selected the first thing that popped up in the drop-down menu. He didn't double-check. He just hit confirm. The mistake didn't show itself right away. The website said, "Booking confirmed," and he closed the tab without a second thought. Later that afternoon, he walked into the modern-looking tourist center in the middle of the city, ready for his scheduled walking tour. He showed his email to the person at the counter, and they smiled. "Ah yes, welcome. You're our only guest from there today." He blinked. "From where?" They flipped the tablet screen around. "You wrote your nationality as Finnish." He stared at it. "I'm not Finnish." She laughed politely, thinking maybe he was joking. "Well, that's what's in our system. But no problem, just wait over there." He sat down, confused. Did it matter? He wasn't sure. But a few minutes later, a guide walked in and called out, "Anyone here from Finland?" Before he could react, everyone in the room turned to him. "It's you," the receptionist said, waving. The guide walked over and welcomed him with a warm handshake, switching immediately into fluent Finnish. He froze. The guide looked confused. "You don't speak Finnish?" "No," he replied slowly. "I accidentally picked the wrong nationality on the form." There was a long pause. The receptionist leaned over and whispered something to the guide, who nodded. "No worries," she said kindly. "We'll see what we can do." What followed was a slightly awkward but surprisingly enjoyable experience. The Finnish language tour was happening with just 3 people, and since he couldn't understand the explanations, the guide made an effort to occasionally switch into English and include him in the conversation. The other tourists chuckled at the situation, and one of them even shared his headphones so he could listen to a translated app version of the tour. By the time they reached the city's famous cathedral, he had picked up some random Finnish phrases, laughed at his own mistake, and even managed to ask a few questions in English that the guide happily answered. Later, at lunch, he chatted with the group and learned a bit about Finnish culture. They joked that maybe he should just come visit Finland for real next time. He smiled. Maybe he would. Back at his hostel that evening, he double-checked every other booking he had made: hotels, train tickets, museum passes. Everything else looked fine. Still, from that day on, he always took an extra few seconds to verify every form he filled out. Especially the nationality section. It was a small error, just one click in a drop-down menu, but it gave him a story he'd tell for years. And if you've been paying attention, you just picked up some great language around travel. Words like register, booking, receptionist, nationality, mistake, and even casual phrases like "I froze" or "double-check." That's how you learn English through real stories, naturally and memorably. We post these every single day to help you improve your English while enjoying the ride. So make sure to subscribe and tell us, have you ever made a small mistake that led to something unexpectedly fun?